Hello dear friends, and welcome to the weekly vlog. In this week's video we are going to talk about discipline versus motivation. What is more important in our life, to have discipline or to be motivated? Which will help us more to achieve our purposes in our life? Stay tuned and I will talk to you about this immediately. So, here in the beautiful place in Greece, we are going to talk about something very important to understand in our life, because usually we confuse this topic in our life and we don't understand how to better deal with the situations that arise and that we want to take care of and solve problems, situations. So, there is this question that comes out of our life experience. What is more important to have, motivation or discipline? In order to understand what is the best, we need to take and examine them one by one. The first thing we will examine is motivation. So what is motivation? Motivation is when we feel a very strong feeling that we are ready to act and do something, and we feel motivated, we feel a desire to do something, we are pumped up, as we say. And of course, in the beginning, if we would just see superficially everything, we would say, of course I want motivation versus discipline, because discipline, it seems more like a hard thing to do, and motivation is when I feel pumped up, when I feel ready to do something, when I feel, yes, I'm ready, I want to do it. Yes, it is, there is an emotional aspect in motivation involved. So when we are motivated to do something, usually it is more easy to act. Let's say, if you have a new idea, usually in the beginning of a new endeavor, of a new idea and so on, you are pumped up, you are motivated. So it is easy for you to start. When you are motivated, you want to do something, you are ready and you say, okay, yes, this is the idea, this is what I want to do. Let's start, let's do it. And this feeling that you cannot wait to start to do, and you have all these kind of visions about what you are going to achieve and all this gives you a boost, an emotional boost, which we call motivation. And there are many speakers out there, the so-called motivational speakers, who are trying to give you this kind of emotional boost to feel, yes, I am ready, I want to conquer the whole world, I am going to succeed in this and that and that and that. And of course, we all love this. I mean, this is amazing. And this could be the perfect way to go about in life, as long as there was not this problem that arises with motivation. And what is this problem? The problem with motivation is that motivation usually finishes fast. It is more like a fuel that burns very fast, like a very explosive fuel that creates very big boost in the beginning, but is burned very fast, and very, very quickly the motivation is finishing us. I have heard people that they have been in the most motivational seminars where the biggest motivational speakers were talking, and they were coming out of these motivational seminars really fully pumped up, ready to change their life. And in these days, first days, they were taking decisions, they were changing their life, only to find themselves, let's say after a week or so, feeling gradually again, normally, naturally, entering again in a normal everyday life, in a routine, and then saying, you know what, I don't feel anymore the motivation that I was feeling 1 week ago. Another thing with motivation is that not only motivation finishes as energy and then, well, without motivation, but also when this energy finishes in our life, it turns to the opposite. Exactly because, let's say, for a few days we have this motivated state. When this leaves us, usually we feel that it became even worse. And usually it tends to exactly opposite. For example, oh, the motivation left me. Oh, I feel not good now. And usually motivation turns to the opposite, like feeling, inadequacy, like feelings of quitting, feelings of it is too hard because I was so pumped up to do it and now maybe I'm not so sure, because exactly when motivation leaves you, you feel like this empty space, so you feel that maybe I'm not sure that I want it anymore, right? So this is the downside of motivation, and this is why many people argue that motivation is not good actually, because the feelings are like the wind, they come and go, and they are right. So here comes discipline. The people who are for discipline, they say that discipline never leaves you, and they are also right. Why discipline never leaves us? Because discipline is more like something that you cultivate. It's more like a muscle that you are building. And when this muscle is strong, you know that if you say something, you are going to do it. Imagine, for example, that you have built in the gym throughout time strong muscles. Yes? When this will be built, this strong muscle will be ready. You will feel able to lift big weights, and this thing with the discipline is that it does not leave you. You cannot be disciplined, cultivating this discipline for a long time, like developing this muscle, and suddenly this muscle leaves you and now you are without muscles. Yes? No. If the muscle is strong and it is built, if you have become disciplined, this doesn't leave you and you stay disciplined every single day. So now we have the discipline, and with the discipline we can go further away, because as we said, motivation will finish, the emotions change to their opposite, but discipline doesn't change to its opposite, because you build it, you control it, and you are it. If discipline actually changes and you are disciplined, I don't know, for 3 days or a week, and then the next week you are not disciplined at all, then actually this was not discipline, it was motivation more. You were feeling pumped up and you thought that you are disciplined, and maybe you did for a week something and you thought that now you have the discipline, but this was not discipline actually, it was motivation. Discipline doesn't leave you because it becomes a permanent trait. So what is the downside of discipline? Well, what discipline is missing is the emotional aspect, because as we said, if people would be left to choose, if they could just simply choose and everything would be equal, they would choose motivation, because motivation feels good. Discipline doesn't feel so good. Discipline doesn't feel bad, but it doesn't feel good necessarily by itself. So discipline is more like a neutral thing, and this is why we would like it to be more emotional, to feel more happy. We would not like our life to be just a grind, a workout, a training. Yes, we would like also to be able to enjoy our life. And discipline does not give you this. Discipline gives you this kind of machine-like attitude, warrior-like attitude. You know you can achieve your goals with discipline, but that's it. It is externally oriented, result-oriented. So what is the solution? Here comes the third way, the combination of motivation and discipline. And here I want to explain to you what is the actual solution and how you need to see these two aspects in order to combine them and have the best possible outcome. So the best possible thing you can do is to arrive to motivation through discipline. This is very, very key and very, very possible. How we can do this? First, the most important is to, as we said in the beginning, to start with motivation. Everybody does this and it's a good thing to do. You need to start by motivation. So in the beginning, very important is to find something that inspires you. Find something that gives you this kind of boost of confidence and helps you to create a momentum, because this momentum will be what you need to start. You need to use your feelings, and while you are motivated, you need to make this very fast initial start where you give it all. But as we said, this period doesn't last very much. But if you know this, that this will not last too much, then when you will start seeing that your motivation is finishing, if you are aware of this, then you need to shift to discipline. And you need to calm down your rhythms, because when you are motivated in the beginning, you give it all. Usually this is what the majority are doing. They are giving it all, and then they just become like a deflated balloon or something like that, and then they cannot continue and they give up. They make super efforts for 1 month, 1 week, how long the motivation lasts, and then they just quit because suddenly they collapse or they feel burned. So instead of doing this, then you need to know that when the motivation will start diminishing, you need to become aware, okay, this is the energy is finishing, now I have to pass to discipline. And then you have to start seeing the long run. And in order to cultivate this long run approach, you have to diminish the effort, because now your emotions are satisfied, your motivation is used as fuel, is the most intense fuel, and then you need to put this discipline. But you need also to know that discipline by itself will not lead you where you want. Okay, this is important, because if you are split between discipline and motivation, or you will go with motivation and then you will have a very short but very strong approach. You will make like an effort very strong and then you will quit, or through discipline you will have this arduous for a long time approach, but you will be like, this will harden you and you will not enjoy your life. Okay, so first motivation, then you shift to discipline, but you need to know that discipline is not everything. Okay, and you need to shift after a period of time. For example, of course, this period of time with discipline is bigger, so it will take more. Let's give you an example. If you start with motivation for 1 month, the first month you use motivation, like you are pumped up for the new project, something new. Then, let's say for the next year or so, you can use discipline, cultivate the discipline, and then you need to shift to, again, motivation. But this motivation will not be this external motivation, but motivation that comes from inside of you, motivation that comes from discipline. So you need to be aware, as you will be developing your discipline inside of you, that discipline itself is like a foundation for a more lasting motivation that will come after a while. And this you need to cultivate also. For example, you need to know that when you will make some stable efforts for a long period of time, you need also to reward yourself, to start feeling good about what you are doing, about the fact that you are disciplining yourself, about the fact that you are enduring for a long period of time. You need to receive some motivational, emotional rewards. Because if you will not receive this kind of rewards, then also discipline, if you have very strong willpower, will last more. Even you will go to second year, third year, but then this will become like a hard way, that you will know that for the rest of my life I have to grind it, and I have to be like competing with everything, and I have to be this kind of tough individual that constantly pushing myself. Yes? No. You need to find this sweet spot between motivation and discipline. And the best way is to learn how to reward yourself when you become more disciplined. So you need, for example, to give yourself a period of time to discipline yourself, and then take vacation, give any kind of reward, relax, fill up emotionally yourself, and accept the reward. Also, you need to become aware and spot and start valuing the moments that discipline gives you some good result. For example, if you want to change your body, and after 1 year in the gym you start having some good results and you will start feeling very strong and healthy, don't create more discipline in your mind and willpower. Now I will put more effort because I feel good results. No, stop there and start feeling just good for the results that you have. Don't constantly go for the top of the mountain, and then when you reach this mountain, the next mountain, and then the next mountain. Maybe you need to stop in the second mountain, for example, and say, well, I will stay here for a period of time to enjoy it. This is very important. And then, if you will do this, you will have this kind of combination that you will be shifting from discipline to reward, to motivation, and then you will have this kind of balanced approach. You have to make effort and then also relax and enjoy. And this is the key for lasting success that also fulfills you emotionally and gives you the best possible outcome. Because if you will go only with discipline, you know, the majority of people, they discipline themselves, then they reach a peak, and then after this peak, if they continue only with discipline, they start declining, and in the end, they burn out also after a few years. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you from my place here in Greece. I give you my hugs and blessings to continue your path. Be motivated, discipline yourself, acquire the results that you want, and then enjoy all this that you have worked hard to get. Value yourself, and then your life will be good. So there is no reason to have this kind of duality in your mind, motivation or discipline or motivation. No, both united is the best approach. Just learn how to shift from one to the other and make these two aspects of yourself help each other, because one aspect activates one part of you, the emotional part of you, the other activates the willpower part of you, and you need both. If you want more knowledge about all these things, if you want to train yourself and become a shaman, a spiritual healer, or a person with mastery in all these areas, I welcome you to the WOW Academy, where we practice and master these arts of life, and I will put the link in description in this video. We do trainings constantly and in our seminars and through online teachings. So I wait you in the WOW Academy, in the Academy for Spiritual Guides and Therapists, and from September we'll open also some other schools that we study all these amazing teachings. Until the next video, I wish you power, motivation, discipline and joy. I will see you all in the next video. Stay hungry for knowledge. Namaste and keep going forward.